Colonel Mara Vance slammed the transmit key. Every open band across the solar system lit up with Earth surrender terms. Unconditional capitulation, full disarmament, ground access granted. Her command center hummed, screens flickered with global feeds. Major Ilya Sato hunched over his console, fingers flying. "Embed it now," Vance said. "The compliance schedule, precise timestamps, verifiable checkpoints make it look desperate." Sato nodded. He sliced the surrender packet open. Inserted the schedule. Surface teams disembark at T plus 12 hours. Orbital stations surrender at T plus 24. All nukes offline by T plus 48. Each step pinged with human transponders for alien verification. "Done," Sato said. "They'll bite, it's too neat." Vance watched the packet propagate. Coalition fleets dotted her tactical display. Admiral Keth Rawls' armada, 300 hulls strong. Krath cruisers, Vex destroyers, all painted in victory colors. They assumed compliance meant parade grounds, not traps. Rawls' voice crackled over intercepted command net. Vance leaned in. Her linguists had cracked their protocols days ago. "Human signals confirmed," Rawl broadcast. "Surrender authentic. Compliance schedule received. Redirect to low orbit. Staging for occupation." Cheers echoed in alien tones. Vance's lips thinned. Rawls' fleet burned hard. Vectors shifted toward Earth. Shuttles prepped in bays. No scans for tricks. Doctrine demanded swift takeover. "Captain Os," Vance patched through. "Hold fire, log everything, every burn, every shuttle hatch, real time." Osai's face filled a screen from her battered orbital station. Sparks flew behind her. Crew welded panels mid-call. "Copy, Colonel," Osa said. "Hardware's at 23% nominal, we'll make it sing. Firing solutions queued if you say go." "Don't, watch them land." Vance cut the line. She pulled up Dr. Lyon Ortiz's grid status. Civilian engineer turned war asset. Ortiz had laced power plants with kill switches, water systems primed for contaminants, supply chains rerouted to dead ends. "Status," Vance queried. Ortiz's voice steadied. "Grid stable." "Fakes running hot, they'll plug in blind." Vance exhaled. Her plan hinged on assumptions. Aliens expected broken humans, not counters. Rawls' fleet dropped into orbit. Shuttles launched, 500 birds fat with troops. They vectored for primary zones, New York, Beijing, Lagos. Human cities lit green on compliance pings. Sato's deception layer kicked in. Forged signals bloomed. "Human disarmament at 40%, they lied. Transponders chirped lies. Rawls' bridge view streamed via hacked drone feed. Vance savored it. The Admiral stood tall, scales gleaming under lights. Subordinates bowed. "Secure the schedule," Rawl ordered. "First wave, verify nukes. Second, occupation, no delays." A subordinate hesitated. "Scans show orbital stations active." "Per schedule," Rawl snapped. "They surrender at T plus 24. Focus on ground." Shuttles pierced atmosphere. Osai's logs poured in, descent profiles sloppy. No evasive patterns, they flew straight, trusting the packet. Vance's console pinged. First touchdown, Lagos pad. Human ground teams waved white flags, drones with fabric. Coalition troops piled out, weapons loose. "Feed me eyes," Vance told Sato. Sato patched drone swarms, low-alt flying, spoofed a civvy traffic. Aliens fanned out, scanned bunkers, found empty racks, cheers again. But Ortiz's traps hummed silent. Power feeds spiked. Alien gear drew juice. Grids logged every watt. Rawls' second wave hit Beijing. Same script. Troops marched to disarmament sites. Human crews, actors in fatigues, handed over dummy warheads. Vance watched Rawl pace his bridge. Pride swelled his posture. "Legitimacy secured," he declared. "Coalition Council will praise this." His XO frowned. "Logistics query, supply shuttles report grid surges." "Human overload," Rawl dismissed. "They rush compliance." T plus 12 passed clean. Aliens consolidated beachheads. Shuttles ferried more gear, fuel dumps, med bays, all plugged into Ortiz's web. Vance signaled Sato. "Leak the next layer." Sato grinned. He spoofed a human comm burst. "Nuke shutdown failing. Request extension T plus 60. It hit alien nets. Panic flickered on Rawls' bridge. "Verify," Rawl barked. Troops rushed mock sites. Found faulty warheads wired with trackers. They hauled them to shuttles. Osai's voice cut in. "Orbital window closing, Colonel. Their pickets drift into my lanes." "Hold," Vance repeated. "T plus 24 minus 2. Rawl bought the extension. He held third wave. Redirected engineers. Shuttles burned extra fuel logged by Osai. Vance tallied it. Fuel at 87%. Troop exposure 42,000 on ground. Supply lines stretched, Dr. Ortiz patched. Their dumps online, contaminants dosing slow. They'll feel it in 12. Good. Vance eyed the board, Rawls' fleet reoriented. More shuttles prepped, burning reserves, T+24 hit. Osai's station pinged surrender. Dummy beacons flashed. Coalition pickets closed to secure it. Osai whispered over private line. They're in kill box, say word. Vance paused. Screens showed Rawl triumphant. Broadcast to his coalition. Earth yields minimal losses. His XO leaned in. Sensors glitch. Human station silent. Per schedule, Rawl said again. Vance smiled. First mistake clocked. Captain Osai, she said. Fire. Osai's station erupted. Failing railguns spat smart rounds. Coalition pickets shredded, hulls vented, reactors cooked. Osai's crew cheered amid smoke. Alarms screamed on Rawls' bridge. Ambush! Shuttles scattered. Ground troops hunkered. But grids failed. Ortiz flipped switches. Power blackouts hit dumps. Gear fried. Water turned toxic. Sato flooded bands. Surrender revoked. Invaders trespass. Rawl roared orders. Fleet clawed for altitude. But Osai's logs fed firing solutions. Missiles leaped from dead stations. Vex destroyers cracked. Troops on ground radioed panic. Sites booby-trapped, nukes active. They weren't, but doubt spread. Rawls' legitimacy cracked. Vance watched fuel readouts plummet. Coalition shuttles ditched loads. Stranded troops fought shadows. Human drones buzzing with fake warheads. Rawls' voice broke over open comm. Cease fire, negotiate. Vance leaned to Mike. Schedule missed. Your move, Admiral. His fleet limped. Logistics gutted, half troops poisoned or starving. Orbital remnants fled Lagrange points. Sato whooped. Ortiz patched victory grids. Osai reported station holding. Vance stood. The board showed coalition retreat vectors, assumptions paid in hulls and blood. Rawls' final broadcast, humans, cheat surrender. She keyed response. We offered it, you assumed terms. Fleet burns faded, Earth held. The countdown reset to their next mistake. Colonel Vance's finger stabbed the console. Dr. Ortiz, initiate demobilization on factories 1 through 7. Report compliance to oversight channels only. Doctor. Lion Ortiz's face flickered on the split screen, her eyes sharp behind grimy glasses. She nodded once. Understood, Colonel. Shutting down assembly lines now. Public logs show full demob. Vance cut the link. Her command bunker hummed under the Rockies, screens mapping alien patrol grids. Coalition forces orbited Earth, their surrender demand echoing across bands, total capitulation, inventory audits, resource handover. Humans had signaled yes. Now came the pivot. She keyed Major Sato next. Forge the reports, compliant inventories, low stockpiles, leak them through the Geneva Channel, make it look sloppy, desperate. Sato's voice crackled, steady as ever. Already templating, ma'am, fuel at 20%, drones scrapped, grids offline. They'll bite. Vance watched the data flow. Ortiz's factories went dark on official feeds. Hidden sublines spun up, drone chassis from auto parts, fuel cells from battery plants, spare rails for Osai stations. No fanfare, just output. Hours ticked. Alien shuttles pierced Atmo, Admiral Keth Rawls' Vex-marked hulls leading. Vance tracked their descent. No fuel depot raids, predictable. Admiral Rawls' boot hit Earth soil at New York port. Marines fanned out, pulse rifles sweeping docks. Cranes idled. Workers stood passive, hands raised. Secure the ports, Rawl barked into his comm. His oversight teams, Vex auditors, Thal logistics disembarked behind. Inventory teams to factories, no deviations. A human liaison approached, tablet extended. Admiral manifests here. Full access. Rawl scanned the screen. Low fuel tallies, demobilized plants, compliant. His doctrine held, quick surrender meant light footprint. Secure trade hubs first, starve resistance via economy, fuel depots later. Accept provisional handover, he ordered. Marines hold perimeter, auditors verify and report. Shuttles lifted, bound for secondary sites. Rawls' shuttle climbed, bridge feed showing port locks snapping into coalition green. Earth yielded. Logistics next. Vance's map pinged. Alien teams landed at ports. New York, Shanghai, Rotterdam, no moves on depots. She smiled faintly. Sato, amplify the leaks, show port handovers as priority. Reports flooded alien nets. Humans funneling food to secured zones, fuel trucks idling at docks. Sato's spoofs layered doubt grainy vids of surrender convoys routing civilian haulers. Vance pulled civilian shipping manifests. Tankers, freighters, fishing fleets. She overlaid alien patrols, predictable loops over cities, ignoring ocean belts. "Reroute Alpha Group," she murmured to her ops officer. "Arctic convoys to hidden caches, Beta to Pacific gyres, mask as refugee flows." Captains acknowledged. Tankers vanished into storm fronts, dumping fuel bladders at drone-marked depths. Submersibles retrieved. Food pods parachuted to island chains. A shadow supply ring formed 10,000 clicks out. Ortiz patched in. Factories at 30% covert output. Drones ready for dispersal. Parts en route to OSI. "Good, hold pattern." Vance's eyes flicked to orbital feeds. OSI stations masqueraded as derelict, power signatures nulled. Rawls' bridge thrummed. Auditor reports scrolled. Ports secured, inventories match. Human factories idle, drones melted down. Fuel reserves minimal, enough for coalition oversight, not war. "Excellent," Rawl said. His exec nodded. "Troops report compliance, no resistance." "Expand patrols," Rawl commanded. "Lock supply lines through ports, starve any holdouts." Sensors pinged. Human shipping clustered at secured hubs, efficient, predictable primates. A Thal auditor frowned at his pad. "Admiral, some manifests. Gaps in ocean routes." Rawl waved it off. "Civilian scatter, irrelevant, focus on audits." Shuttles ferried teams deeper, factory floors bare, workers logging shutdowns. Sato's forgeries held, stamped, dated, triple verified. One Vex inspector pocketed a scrapped drone core. It pinged active to Vance's net. Vance's bunker screens bloomed red. First audit complete. Aliens bought it. Ortiz, Phase 2, double drone output, seed the ports. Trucks rolled under alien eyes. Relief supplies. Crates hid micro-drones, EMP charges, sensor jammers. Workers, Ortiz's crews slipped them into port bunkers. Sato fed chatter. "Coalition gracious, more manifests incoming." Fake desperation laced every bite. Vance traced the supply ring. Tankers cycled fuel to submersible tenders. Drones launched from islands, buzzing low. OSI stations drank the parts, railguns reborn, missile tubes loaded. Rawls' next order leaked via Sato, full port lockdowns. Marines doubled guards. "No eyes on depots." "Perfect," Vance said. She keyed OSI. "Stand by fire window." Sato prepped the revoke signal. Rawl paced his flagship. Earth spun below, ports glowing coalition blue. Logistics teams tallied. Human fuel piped through secured lines, food warehouses coalition stamped. "Victory without blood," his exec said. Rawl nodded. Doctrine proven. Surrender audits confirmed compliance. Long-term, Earth as vassal, fleets refuel here. Alarms wailed. Bridge screens shattered with vids, human stations powering up. Dead rails spat fire, coalition pickets vented atmosphere. "Ambush," Rawl roared, shuttles recalled from audits. Ground Marines radioed panic, ports jammed with drones, crates exploding in EMP bursts. Auditors screamed over comms. "Manifests fake, factories churning." Rawl slammed the console. Human shipping ghosts appeared on long range, fuel belts circling poles untouched, depots full, patrols blind. "Pull back, all teams extract." Troops fought shadows. Drones swarmed with dummy warheads. Port grids failed, Ortiz's toxins in water lines. Marines ditched gear, stomachs heaving. Vance's voice cut through open bands. "Surrender offered, audits passed, your logistics assumed terms." Rawls' fleet clawed orbit. Half troops stranded, poisoned, or starved. Orbital stations, OSIs tracked every burn. Sato whooped off mic. Ortiz patched blackouts to dumps. Drones herded shuttles into kill zones. Rawl broadcast fleet-wide. "Cease, negotiate." Vance's response chilled. "Schedule missed, Admiral, your move." Sensors showed retreat vectors. Coalition hulls cracked, logistics gutted. Humans hadn't cheated, they'd surrendered on paper. Rawls' bridge fell silent. Primates turned audit into attrition. His doctrine bled out. Vance watched the board. Fuel readouts plummeted for them. Earth held the ring, next mistake theirs. Captain Nix Osa gripped her station rail. Smoke curled from consoles. Firing solutions locked, rails hot. Her crew patched failing gyros with Ortiz's parts. Smart rounds leaped. Vex destroyers buckled. Osa grinned through the din. "That's for the audits." Ground feeds showed Marines fleeing ports, drones nipping heels. Sato's revoke signal blared. "Trespassers, evacuate." Rawls' remnants fled Lagrange shadows. Vance's ring tightened, subs surfacing fuel, factories ramping drones. Vance stood in her bunker. Screens showed it all. Collaboration clicked. Ortiz's shadows, Sato's lies, Osai's bite, her roots. Aliens skilled at conquest, humans at the long game. Rawls' final hail, "You cheat, surrender," she keyed back. "We offered, you read the paperwork." Burns faded, countdown reset, Earth's turn, Captain Nix Osai slammed the fire override. Silent rails spat kinetics from her station's shadow. No thrusters, no emissions. Just cold iron slugs ripping through the alien scout wing. 3 Vex probes buckled first. Hulls vented plasma in silent blooms. The 4th twisted, engines flaring blind. Osai's gunners tracked it through failing scopes. Ortiz's jury-rigged gyros held, just. "Impact confirmed," her sensor tech grunted. Sparks showered from overhead panels. Crew swabbed coolant leaks with rags. Osai nodded. "Leave the last one drifting, Vance's orders." She keyed the board. One slug clipped the scout's drive cone. It spun lazy toward the Coalition fleet, a gutted lure. Admiral Keth Rawls' bridge alarms wailed. Scout wing silent, last vector inbound. His ops officer stiffened. "Drift pattern matches debris field, human sabotage," Rawls' mandibles clicked. Doctrine demanded recovery, salvage tech deny intel. "Dispatch recovery group, Gamma wing tight escort, Titan orbital lanes, no more terrorism." Probes launched. Escorts burned hard, nets deploying. Rawl watched the hollow, primates hid in the ring. His fleet held the high ground. Compliance would follow. Colonel Myra Vance's bunker screens flickered. Osai's feed showed the bait tumbling true. Sato's ghost signals primed. "Status?" Vance asked. Major Ilya Sato leaned into her comms rig. Spoof locked. Distress pings firing from the wreck, Coalition codes only. Vance tapped the kill corridor overlay, mapped months ago. Orbital debris, Lagrange shadows, station blind spots. Aliens chased straight in. "Execute," Vance said. Sato hit send. Fake beacons pulsed, critical damage. "Recovery urgent, fleet auth." Rawls' recovery group closed. Lead tug snagged the wreck. Escorts fanned out, scanners sweeping. "Contacts," Rawls' tac yelled. "Kinetics inbound, cold launch." Osai's station erupted in cheers. Rails barked again. Slugs arced from hidden vents, Ortiz's power dumps masking the shots. Nix gripped her rail as the deck shuddered. Failing seals hissed. First escort vaporized. Shrapnel peppered the tug. It spun, spilling crew pods. Rawls surged from his throne. "Evasive, full burn." Too late. Sato's lures pulled them into the corridor. Human stations, Osais and ghosts unleashed. Kinetics sleeted through the lane. No waste. Every round counted. Gamma wing crumpled. 2 escorts cracked open. The tug broadcast surrender bursts before silence. Rawls' bridge dimmed. Red lights pulsed. "Report." "Recovery group destroyed, debris field expanding." His officer's crest flattened. "They baited us." Vance watched the kills tally climb, fuel reserves held. Ortiz's grid-fed power spikes to the rails, no mercy shots, just the trap snapping shut. "Pull Osai back," Vance ordered Sato. "Regroup at Shadow 3. Sato relayed it. "Osai copies, rails cold." Captain Osai wiped sweat from her brow. Crew dragged coolant hoses. One gunner slumped, shrapnel graze. Med techs patched him mid-cycle. "Drift confirmed," Osai said into the link. "Your baits hooked 'em." Vance's voice cut clean. "Good work, conserve ammo, next wave's theirs." Osai scanned her board, station integrity at 62%. Ortiz's hacks kept life support humming. Drones prepped for salvage runs, alien wrecks meant parts. Rawl paced. His fleet's logistics readout bled red, scout losses mounted, orbital lanes choked with his own debris. Primates hadn't fired wild, they'd waited. "Countermeasures," he snapped. "Jam all distress freaks." "Push probes wide." Engineers scrambled. But Sato's spoofs layered deeper, ghost wrecks, fake drifts. Coalition sensors drowned in noise. Major Sato grinned at her console. Vance's bunker link buzzed steady. Rawls tightening lanes, probes scattering. "Feed them shadows," Vance said. "Ortiz spiked the dumps." Dr. Lyon Ortiz's grid center hummed. Civilian crews manned overrides. She routed blackouts to kinetic bays. "Dumps live, power surge in 10. Sato spoofed another ping. "Survivor pod, Gamma wing." Coordinates attached, straight into kill zone 2. Rawls' probes bit. One winked out, then 2. His bridge crew exchanged flat crests, doubt cresting. "Admiral patterns match human audits," Ops warned. "They're logging our moves." Rawl halted, audits. The surrender paperwork, endless forms, compliance checks. Primates turned bureaucracy into bait. "Recall all wings," he growled. "Reform at Vector Prime." Too slow. Osai's rails whispered again. Cold-fired slugs culled the stragglers. Vance leaned forward. Screens showed Coalition burns faltering, fuel trails thinned. Her teams, Osai holding stations, Sato twisting signals, Ortiz starving their grid hacks, chipped the invasion. Rawl broadcast fleet-wide. Humans, this ends, cease traps, negotiate true surrender. Vance keyed response, calm. Admiral, your recovery ops violated Lane 3 Alpha per Accord Section 4.2. Trespass incurs forfeit. His bridge froze. Accord? The capitulation docs his staff signed, rushed, assuming victory. Sato whooped off mic. He's reading it now. Rawl snarled at the text crawl. Clauses buried deep. Lane audits, recovery bans, logistics liens. Primates scripted defeat as debt. They're not surrendering, his second hissed. They're collecting. Osai vectored her station deeper into debris. Drone snagged Coalition wreckage, drives, sensors. Ortiz's factories ramped below. Parts incoming, Osai reported. Rails back to 80%. Vance nodded. Sato leaked the next corridor, let them chase. Sato typed fast. Controlled drip, abandoned human pod. Intel cache, Lure 3 armed. Rawl dispatched minimal team, caution now. But doctrine cracked, quick compliance myth shattered. Probes entered the corridor, kinetics waited. Osai's fire solution locked. Firing, slugs leaped. Probes shredded. One survivor fled, broadcasting panic. Rawl's fleet pulled back, orbital dominance slipped. Ground troops half-stranded signaled starvation. Human drones herded stragglers into ports, auditing supplies. Vance's board glowed green. Coalition fuel plummeted, hers held. Surrender weaponized, paper traps, bait drifts, signal lies. Rawl hailed again, voice edged. Colonel Vance, your tricks end here. She replied even. Tricks, Admiral, you signed for the lanes, pay the toll. His channel cut, burns reversed, retreat vectors plotted. Osai watched from her station. Alien hulls cracked, spilling into the black. Her crew cheered ragged. Sato patched through. They're running the audit gauntlet, losses at 40%, Ortiz chimed in. Grid secure, drones refueling stations. Vance stood, collaboration clicked. No heroes, just plans executed. Rawl's bridge fell quiet. Primates turned mercy into massacre. His expedition, largest in cycles, bled on assumptions. Sensors pinged new lures, he ignored them. Doctrine dead. Next move, theirs to force, but Vance reset the board. Earth's ring tightened. Fuel for years, aliens chased ghosts. One station fired silent, another trap set. Rawl's scopes caught it late. Incoming drift, kinetics closed. Coalition paid again. Drones swarmed from Earth's shadow. Colonel Myra Vance watched the holoboard flicker. Green icons, her disguised raiders, lanced toward the alien tenders. Each drone mimicked shattered satellite hulls, tumbling inert through the debris fields. Coalition scanners dismissed them as junk. Raids away, Major Ilya Sato murmured beside her. His fingers danced over signal pads, spoofing civilian distress beacons. Tenders locked, 5 minutes to impact. Vance nodded once, no fanfare, just execution. The first tender exploded in silent fire. Fuel plumes vented into vacuum. Drones peeled off, shedding debris skins to reveal warheads. Second tender buckled under kinetic swarms. Alarms screamed across Rawl's fleet channels. Sato patched them through, raw and unfiltered. Admiral, logistics wing hit, reserves at 60%. Vance's board updated. 3 tenders down, 2 limping. Her own refineries hummed full, underground bunkers untouched. Rawl's voice cut in, hailing from his flagship. Vance, cease this piracy, your primitives play at war. She keyed the mic. Piracy, we're salvaging your scraps, Admiral. Sign the receipt. His channel snapped dead. Sato grinned faintly. He's rerouting escorts, perfect. Vance tapped the next phase. Ortiz, your turn. Dr. Lion Ortiz crouched in a subway maintenance vault, 30 meters under Chicago's ruins. Her team welded final power relays. Factory hums vibrated the concrete, doubled output from hidden lines. Blackouts rolling, she said into her comm. Fingers flipped breakers. City grids plunged dark in sequence. Satellite thermals red cold sprawl. Coalition patrols swept over blacked-out zones. No heat plumes. No activity. Underground, Ortiz's plants surged. Ammo presses stamped rounds. Drone assemblers spat frames. Blackouts masked it all. Rolling shadows hid the pulse. Signatures invisible, she reported. Output up 40%. Vance's voice crackled back. Good. Feed the raiders. Ortiz wiped sweat. Her crew, civilians turned engineers, nodded grimly. No cheers, just more welds. Admiral Keth Rawl gripped his command rail. Bridge crew flinched at fresh alerts. Fuel tenders burned. Probes reported empty orbits, silent cities. Planetside assets deploy, he ordered. Doctrine demanded it, secure the prize, hold from the core. Fleet mothballed in high anchor, reactors idled to conserve. Shuttles dropped. Occupation troops secured ports, warehouses. Half his ground force, stranded earlier, linked up. Cities looked pacified. Blackouts, power glitches from human sabotage, sensors pinged debris fields. Rawl ignored them, Vance's tricks. His fleet carried reserves for cycles, enough. Surface command reports compliance, his exec said. Minimal resistance, Rawl exhaled. Primates broke, expedition secured. Vance's holoboard pulsed red, enemy shuttles planetside, perfect. Insurgent op, she said to Sato. City centers, make it loud. Sato cued the feed, forged signals burst. Coalition scum. We rise, amateur vids showed rebels torching mock supply dumps. Controlled leaks painted urban hives as nests. Rawl's ground commander reacted. Insurgents in Sector 7 reinforced cities. Troops poured in. Patrols tripled. Security nets webbed urban grids. Resupply convoys diverted. Fuel tenders hugged escorts tight, skipping outer lanes. Vance's drones waited in the gaps. Captain Nix Osai nursed her orbital station's guns. Failing gyros whined, coalition kinetics had grazed her weak back. Her crew jury-rigged stabilizers with hull plates. Target acquired, she said. A tender crept through, escorts peeled off for insurgent alerts. Osai fired, slugs arced precise, solving for drift. Tender split, debris bloomed, crew whooped low. Osai silenced them. Reload. Next window. Her scopes tracked Rawl's fleet. Underfueled hulks drifted, reactors starved. Earth's rings, mined, refueled, tightened. Rawl stormed his tack deck. Hollows showed city riots flaring. Ground losses mounted, ambushes in alleys, snipers from blacked-out towers. Pull fleet fuel for ground ops, he snapped. Secure the capitals, execs hesitated. Admiral reserves dropped to critical, tenders vulnerable. Doctrine holds, pacify first. Shuttles lifted fuel cans planetside, orbits thinned. Vance saw it unfold, board greens multiplied. Drones struck again, debris swarms gutted the tenders. Sato's spoofs lured escorts into kill boxes. Osai's stations picked off stragglers, Ortiz patched through. Factories at peak, drones resupplied, grid-dancing blackouts, aliens chase shadows. Insurgents hit a coalition depot, real enough to bleed them, fake enough to drain. Rawl's bridge lit with panic, fuel at 20%. Ground troops clamored for evac, cities bled patrols, resupply ignored. Recall assets, Rawl growled. Break orbit, sensors screamed. Lures activated, ghost tenders bait signals, escorts chased phantoms, Osai's fire solution locked. Firing, slugs hammered a cruiser, hull cracked, fuel vented, Rawl veered his flagship. Evasive, what madness, Vance hailed him, calm. Admiral. Your ground forces signed for occupation, pay the maintenance. His fleet scattered, tenders dry, shuttles stranded, Earth's defenses closed, Sato leaned in. Coalition logistics at 11%, ours 98. Vance stood, no triumph, just reset. Ortiz surged the grids. Osai heard them to the lanes. Rawl watched his grand expedition fracture. Primates didn't charge, they audited, every receipt a trap, every assumption a bill, probes fled ahead, broadcasting route. Coalition high command would demand answers, sensors pinged fresh debris. Real this time, his own. Too late. Vance's board glowed victory green. Fuel lines choked, receipts unpaid. Surrender, their weapon now. Rawl's next hail came desperate. Vance, terms, she smiled faintly. Send the manifests first, Admiral. Osai tracked the retreat vectors. Alien hulls limped, spilling plasma. Her station's guns tracked silent. They're auditing their own ghosts, Sato's voice laughed over comms. Osai allowed a nod. Crew reset gyros, next tenders inbound. Underground, Ortiz flipped breakers. Lights flickered citywide, decoy glows. Factories thrummed hidden. Rawl's ground troops huddled in ports. Drones circled, inspecting crates, no shots, just scans. Inventories vanished into human nets. Vance coordinated from her bunker, collaboration seamless. No heroes, plans bit deep. Coalition fleet clumped at jump point. Fuel begged. Probes reported Earth rings fortified, years of stock. Rawl stared at the void. Primates turned mercy to massacre. His doctrine, receipts unpaid. One drone slipped their guard, disguised perfect, touched a tender. Fireball lit the black. Vance's mic waited. Pay the toll. Rawl punched the cutoff. Bridge crew stared. Losses cascaded. Tenders zeroed. Ground assets captured. Fleet adrift. Jump prep, he rasped. Survivors only. Earth's signal chased them. Calm, unyielding. Surrender weaponized. Assumptions bled dry. Vance turned to her team. Reset the board, next coalition comes signed. Ortiz's factories hummed. Osai's guns cooled. Sato spoofed victory feeds. Humanity held. Receipts won the war, but scopes pinged new signatures. Coalition reinforcements. Early. Vance's hand hovered. Trap or test. Board flickered. Game reset. Contacts confirmed, Colonel. 12 capital ships escort wings. Jump signatures match coalition reserve fleet. Vance's eyes narrowed at the holoboard. Red icons bloomed over Earth's outer rings. Too soon. Rawls' retreat signal must have pulled them. Her fingers danced across controls. Sato, your op is green. Leak the ceasefire faction now. Make it desperate. Affirm, Colonel. Sato's voice crackled steady from the signal's van. Patching through pirate freaks. Peace now manifesto dropping in 3. Vance nodded to her ops chief. Artillery teams repositioned to grid Alpha 7. Counter-battery radars hot on checkpoints 1 through 4. Sync to my mark. Trucks rumbled unseen in the bunker's seismic feed. Mobile howitzers unfolded legs in forested ravines. Radars pinged low, painting alien drop zones. No flares, no chatter, just math. Hours ticked. Sato's leak spread. Coalition intercepts lit her board green. They're biting, Sato reported. Rawls' flagship hails the faction, demands parley at designated ports. Vance watched the icons shift. Shuttle swarms detached from the heavies, commanders inbound, arrogant. Doctrine screamed quick capitulation. Her teams waited. Mark, she said. Thunder rolled first from the east. Howitzers spat precision fire. Shells arced perfect, guided by radars that ignored chaff. Checkpoint 1 vanished in fireballs, shuttles shredded mid-descent. 2 followed, alien escorts popping like blisters under counter-battery salvos. 3 and 4 crumpled together, wreckage raining into sea lanes. Rawls' voice boomed over open channels. This treachery ends. Primates learn discipline. Vance muted him. Ortiz decoys up. Osai orbital blinders. Grid flickered alive. Ortiz's breakers threw phantom power surges. City lights blazed false. Osai's station guns fainted high, drawing scans. Real strikes stayed cold. Coalition Marines hit dirt in force. Punitive sweeps scorched suburbs. Rawl concentrated them into armored columns. Trackable, predictable. Holoboard painted the paths, broad avenues, formation perfect. They're bunching, Vance murmured. Sato, seed the drone net. Affirm, swarms launching from Ortiz's caches. Thousands of micro-drones spilled from sewer grates, warehouse vents, no bigger than fists. They hummed into canyons, hurting the columns with false pings, ghost infantry, bait flares. Marines pivoted, formations stretched. Vance traced the funnel. Urban sprawl choked alien treads. Narrow streets, rubble traps from prior raids. Human drones nipped flanks, forced turns into killboxes. Columns fractured. Rawls' lead tank broadcast fury. Disperse and flank, burn the rats. Too late. Drones swarmed thicker, spoofing battalion sizes. Marines jammed freaks. Sato countered with adaptive bursts. Columns jammed into viaducts, overpasses engineered for human semis, not alien hulks. Treads snapped. Hulls wedged. Vance keyed artillery again. Fire mission. Walk the barrage. Shells rained. Columns erupted. Escape routes choked with debris. Survivors broadcast surrender codes, ignored. Drones pinned them. Rawls' fleet loomed overhead. Bombardment primed. But Osai's station spoke first. Failing gyros compensated by vector math. Guns lanced tenders mid-refuel. Explosions chained across the heavies. They're auditing ghosts again, Sato laughed over comms. Vance allowed a thin smile. Collaboration carved victory. No charges, no glory, just receipts. Rawls' bridge feed hacked through. Sato's gift. His crest feathers wilted. What sorcery breaks our line? Math, Vance replied cool. Your assumptions compound interest. He cut the line. Fleet signatures wavered. Jump preps flickered, but scopes pinged anew. Smaller signatures, stealth probes, infiltrators. Vance's hand hovered. Sato, trace those. Already on it, wait, civilian bands, human origin. Her board glitched. Ortiz's factories. No, deeper, grid anomalies spiked. Colonel, Ortiz broke in, voice tight. Someone tripped my breakers, internal saboteurs. Coalition plants in the cities. Vance exhaled. Lock it down, new board. Game twisted. Admiral Keth Rawl gripped his command rail. Bridge lights dimmed under emergency power. Tenders gone. Ground legions mauled. Primates turned negotiation to ambush. His doctrine, flawless in sims, crumbled. Status, he rasped. Sensors officer quivered. Columns 80% neutralized, shuttles total loss, probes deployed as ordered. Rawl nodded. Desperation bred ingenuity. Infiltrators seeded months ago, dormant in human hives. They carried the virus now, grid killers tailored to primitive nets. Report success, he commanded. Probes burrowed atmospheres, signals mimicked civilian chatter, infiltrators activated, but returns garbled. Interference, comms whined, Rawl's crest flared. Counter. Too slow, human drones swatted probes, infiltrators silenced mid-burst. Vance's voice pierced again. Assumptions bleed dry, Admiral, pay up. Rawl punched retreat, fleet clumped for jump. Earth's rings mocked them, fortified, endless. Colonel Vance watched the exodus. Bunker hummed, team reports stacked green. Sato leaned into Hololink. Fake faction op, perfect lure, they came to sign peace. Vance nodded, and learned targeting math. Osa patched through. Guns cold, gyros held. Ortiz followed. Grid secure. Saboteurs neutralized, your drone herders flushed them. Collaboration seamless. Humans fought dirty smart. Aliens conquered stars but tripped on dirt. Board cleared, but edge signatures lingered, not coalition. Unknown alloy. New player? Ops chief asked. Vance's fingers stilled. Prep defenses, invite them to parley. Hook baited, next lesson cued. Major Ilya Sato wiped sweat from her brow. Signals van reeked of ozone. Spoof feeds looped victory lies to any listener. Coalition remnants fled. Colonel, those edge sigs, quantum bands, not Rawl's tech. Vance's face filled her screen. Profile them. Sato rooted traces, patterns danced. Alien, yes, but signatures whispered old wars, rival coalition, scavengers. They're hailing, she said. Open channel, patch me. Sato complied. Unknown voice boomed, guttural, translators lagged. We observe primates repel Kethral, impressive, propose alliance against coalition core. Vance's comm cut through. Terms, tech share, joint strike on their yards. Sato's boards lit. False, lure reciprocal. Vance saw it too. Counteroffer, come to our checkpoints, sign here. Sato grinned, leak primed, cycle reset. Captain Nix Osa braced as her station shuddered. Last barrage cooled barrels, crew patched hulls with spit and welders. New hails, skipper, gun chief reported. Osa scanned, unknown circled Lagrange. Hold fire, Vance wants them talking. Shuttles detached, commanders inbound again, Osai's gyros whined, failing hardware, she overrode safeties. Firing solutions cued asymmetric, low arcs, gravity assists. They're landing, Chief said. Osa nodded. Track, Vance's math incoming. Station guns whispered ready. Dr. Lion Ortiz crouched in her subway ops. Breakers hummed. Drones recalled from her caches. Saboteurs' bodies cooled in vents. Drone cams confirmed. Colonel, grid's a fortress now, she reported. Factories double output, decoys infinite. Vance replied crisp. Good, prep for guests. Ortiz flipped switches, phantom cities glowed, real bunkers stayed black, unknown shuttles touched ports, commanders strode out crests high, assuming victory, artillery radars painted. Vance's mark waited. Vance synchronized it all, holoboard pulsed, unknowns at checkpoints, artillery zeroed, drones herded flanks, Osai's orbitals blindsided. They're signing, Sato confirmed. Fire, shells fell, columns broke, same math, new victims. Unknowns broadcast shock. Formations shattered in human traps. Rawls reserves, no opportunists, now paying toll, fleet above recoiled, probes died, infiltrators spoofed. Vance leaned back. Reset. But core signatures bloomed. True coalition armada, massive, hand hovered. Ultimate board, team, she said. Full war footing. Receipts demanded payment. Vance slammed the holoboard. Ledger live, Sato flood their nets. Signals erupted from hidden arrays. Phantom uprisings bloomed across the board, riots in Beijing, strikes in Lagos, rebellions in the Andes, all fake. Human drones spoofed coalition frequencies, broadcasting desperate pleas for aid. Sato's voice crackled. They're biting, Colonel, probes launching fleet-wide. Vance watched reserves drain. Coalition cruisers peeled off, chasing ghosts. Perfect. She keyed Ortiz. Doctor, your window's open, hit the refineries. Dr. Lion Ortiz yanked the final breaker. Flames licked the alien-compatible tanks in the Gulf complex, sabotaged catalysts foaming useless. Human crews swarmed behind her, rigging pumps to human-spec fuels only. No coalition skimmers, no repairs. Drones confirm, her tech reported. Output spiked, their grade. Poison now, Ortiz nodded, sweat stinging her eyes. Shuttles screamed overhead, coalition troops dropping for loyalist uprisings. She triggered the next cascade. Phantom refineries lit up on their scans, decoy flares from warehouse districts. Real plants went dark, bunkered deep. Grid's ours, she transmitted to Vance. They land, they starve. Explosions rocked the horizon. Coalition landers touched soil. Ortiz's teams melted into tunnels, first blood drawn. Captain Nix Osai gripped her console as gyros screamed. Station integrity at 43%. She overrode another failsafe. Mount those transponders. Vance's decoys launch in 5. Crew welded captured Coalition beacons onto gutted freighters, hulks stuffed with junk broadcasting as VIP evacuations. High-value brass fleeing Earth. Osai's guns tracked real threats, Coalition pickets circling L5. "Skipper, they're vectoring," gun chief said. Osai smiled thin. "Let them, firing solutions locked, gravity slingshots." Decoys jettisoned. Transponders blared priority codes. Coalition interceptors pounced, lasers carving hulls. Real human assets slipped the noose, cargo bays fat with missiles. Osai's station whispered fire. Low-arc shots curved in, shattering pursuers. One interceptor spun, venting crew. "Clean kill," Chief grunted. "More coming," Osai said. "Hold the line." Admiral Keth Rawls' bridge alarms wailed. Probes reported chaos, uprisings everywhere, refineries ablaze, evacuations under fire. His fleet burned fuel-chasing shadows. Reserves dipped to 62%. "Status," he barked, tactician bowed. "Phantoms confirmed, Admiral, but losses mount. Probes gone." Landers report contaminated fuel stocks. Rawls' crest flattened. Humans played compliant, then this. "Recall all units, secure orbit, we strike the core." Shuttles lifted from ghost sites. Empty. Fuel bays rejected samples, human additives clogging injectors. Repair drones failed on unfamiliar alloys. Orbit decaying, engineering warned. Thrust suboptimal. Rawl clenched mandibles, pull back. No, Coalition doctrine demanded dominance. Press the attack, board their stations. Vance synced feeds, Ledger chewed their logistics. Ortiz's sabotage locked fuel lanes. Osai's decoys bled their screens dry. Sato's leaks fed false panics. Earth surrenders, but uprisings block. Coalition fleet fragmented. Cruisers low on juice, chasing endless ghosts. Probes popped like bubbles. "They're withdrawing," Sato reported. "Panicked hails." Vance leaned in. "Not yet, Osai paint their flagships. Ortiz spike the grid, lure them low." Board flared. Coalition heavies dove for refinery fires. Osai's station erupted, asymmetric barrages, using station tumble for fresh angles. Missiles arced on gravity assists, punching engines. One cruiser yawed, trailing plasma. Crew ejected into void. No pickups. Rawls' voice boomed over open channels, translated choppy. "Cease deceptions, capitulate or—" Sato cut in, spoofed as human admiral. "Terms accepted, sending coordinates." False beacons pulsed. Last reserves burned. Ortiz watched from her bunker. Coalition landers dotted the ports, stranded now, fuel lines dead. Her teams picketed with drones, surrender banners waving, troops debarked wary, they sampled tanks, froth, engines seized mid-rev. "They're grounded," Ortiz murmured. Grid hummed full, human factories churning ammo parts, decoy cities flickered off, revealing nothing. A lander exploded, sabotaged seals, survivors scattered into drone swarms, she patched Vance. "Ports sealed, no liftoff without our say." Osai braced as station shuddered. Coalition boarders grappled close, 3 corvettes, troops spilling. Her guns shredded too, third latched. "Repel," she ordered. Crew sealed bulkheads, venting corridors. Failing gyros spun wild, perfect for tumble shots. Boarders breached a pod. Osa triggered countermeasures, recycled air laced with human irritants. Coughs echoed on mics. Her Marines counterpushed, shotguns barking in zero-G bodies tumbled out airlocks. "Clear," Marine lead reported. Transponders boosted, their heavies chasing ghosts again. Osai checked scopes. Fleet cohesion gone, orbit slipped. Rawl paced, fuel critical, 28% across the armada. Repair bays jammed with incompatible wreckage. Landers silent, no resupply. "Admiral," comms officer hissed. "Human signals, full surrender inbound, evac paths marked." Beacons flared, priority evac codes his own. Fleet surged toward them, traps ignited. Decoy hulls burst, shrapnel shredding drives. Real human wolf packs armed freighters slipped from black, torpedoes live. Explosions chained, cruisers crippled, drifting hulks. Rawl slammed controls. "Emergency withdrawal, all ships burn for jump." Engines coughed, fuel starved, repairs halted, orbit decayed, drag from debris fields, OSI's guns seated. Can't hold, Helm reported. Re-entry vectors locking. Probes died last, spoofed into cliffs. Vance tallied the board. Coalition fleet, 40% combat ineffective, ground forces bottled, logistics gutted, refineries human-only, supply chains phantom choked. Sato grinned on feed. They're running, Colonel, but nowhere to go. Confirm, Vance said. Ortiz lock grids. OSI cover exfil. Dr. Ortiz's face appeared. Factories at 200%, parts inbound. Osa nodded. Stations a porcupine, they're paying per inch. Rawls' final hail cracked through. This, impossibility, your primitives, Vance keyed open, calm. Surrender accepted, Admiral. On our terms, silence. Then retreat vectors limping, fuel siphoned dry. Vance watched signatures fade, not destroyed, stranded, no refuel here, no repairs without human grace, no return without begging. Fleet jump drives whined cold. Coalition armada marooned in human space. Team, Vance said, stand down, receipts cleared. But deep scans pinged. Ghost signatures rallied, survivors probing edges. Vance's hand hovered, next ledger opened. Payment overdue. Vance keyed the public channel wide. Coalition forces, this is Colonel Mara Vance, United Earth Defense Command. Safe exit corridors open on vectors 047 and 259. Sign non-return covenants now. Leave with your crews intact. Refuse and orbit claims you. Static hissed. Rawls' face filled her main holoscreen, scales paling under bridge lights. His mandibles clicked, frustration, not fury. You dictate terms to the stellar conquered after your tricks. Terms for survival, Admiral. Vance tapped the Covenant template onto his feed. Legalese scrolled. No re-entry to Sol system, no aid to aggressors, full disclosure of fleet manifests. Sign, your ship's limp. Fuel runs dry. Jump drives spool cold without it. Rawls' eyes flicked to side panels. Damage reports scrolled there, visible even through the link. Coalition cruisers listed, engines venting plasma. Probes his last eyes drifted silent, spoofed dead by Sato's ghosts. Jettison orders, he barked off mic. Heavy gear, all non-essentials, prepare burns. Vance watched feeds multiply. Sato's signal board lit green. Covenants incoming, Colonel, digitally sealed. Rawls' auth code verified. Public blast, Vance ordered. Every polity from here to the Veil. Aye, Sato's grin flashed on subscreen. Broadcasting now. Kragari Republic Vexen Concordance, all neutrals, locked in. Rawls' voice cut back, strained. Corridors accepted. Conquered fleet withdraws, but know this, your victory is temporary. We return with legions. You won't. Vance leaned forward. Covenants bind you, breach them, and every neighbor turns hunter. His bridge shook, OSI's parting gift, a kinetic swarm grazing his flank. Porcupine holds, OSI reported from her station feed. Hull breaches patched with scavenged plating, guns slaved to predictive fire. They're shedding mass, accelerating, Ortiz patched in next. Grid stable, factories rerouted, your surrender forms now print defense chits. Supply chains hardened. Vance nodded. Screens shifted to orbital plots. Limping signatures clumped on exit vectors. Jettison gear tumbled, fusion cores, weapon pallets, repair drones. Human salvage teams vectored in silent nets deploying. Rawls' final glare burned through the link. Primitives, you fight like vermin, endless, adaptive. We plan, Vance said, channel closed. Alarms pinged, deep scans refreshed. Ghost signatures rallied at system edge, stragglers not retreat, probes, reinforcements. Vance's hand hovered over the next ledger. Sato, spoof confirm, OSI weapons hot. Ghosts are ours, Sato replied. Lures holding, they're chasing shadows. OSI grunted. Stations dry on torps, but rails charged. Say the word. Hold. Vance pulled Ortiz's grid overlay. Earthside factories hummed at triple output. Civilian lines flipped to mil-spec. Dock, harden the outer yards, turn their junk into ours. Done, rails spinning up now. Rawls' lead cruiser nosed into the corridor. Engines flared blue-white, mass shedding in fiery trails. Follow-ons bunched tight, fuel discipline cracking under decay drag. Vance watched fuel gauges on their spoof telemetry. Coalition tanks read 12%. Jump minimum 28%. They're light, she murmured, but clustered. Sato's board beeped. Neighbor polities responding, Kragari fleet mobilizing, enforcing covenant. Vexen embargo active. Good, legal noose tightened. Rawls' isolation sealed. A straggler cruiser veered off vector, probes fanning out. probes toward Mars Yards Ortiz's domain. Intruder, Osa snapped. Firing solution. Negative, Vance keyed tactical. Lure it. Sato obliged. Decoy signatures bloomed, ghost freighters fat with fuel. Straggler bit drives burning hot. Osai's rails whispered. Slugs punched silent, shearing drives. Wreckage spun into debris field, joining the graveyard. Rawl hailed again, voice-edged. Cease fire, corridors honored. Honor your covenants first. Vance forwarded manifests. Full disclosure, now. Mandibles ground, data streamed, fleet rosters, supply logs, home vectors, leverage stacked, signatures thinned. Lead ships jumped, distorted space snapping shut. Fuel margins razor-thin, they'd coast months to neutral ports. No resupply. No allies, covenants broadcast. Vance tallied. Fleet reduced, 60% effective, down from invasion prime. Ground legions bottled planetside, refineries human-locked. Coalition's war machines starved, but ghosts lingered. One holdout destroyer probed Lagrange points, scans hungry. Osai, Vance said, got it. Station guns tracked. Failing servos whined, Nyxo patched with jury rigs, firing solutions math solved on the fly. Slugs lanced. Destroyer split, atmosphere jetting crew to void. Clean, Osai reported. Porcupines still got teeth, Ortiz chimed. Yards claim the jettison gear. Fusion cores hot, will rebuild twice as fast. Vance exhaled, board cleared to green. Stand down all units, war ends on paper. Sato laughed. Broadcast sent. Surrender, bureaucracy flips to defense net, permanent. Earth's channels flooded with it. Civilian forms, once capitulation chits, now authorized mill drafts, factory realocks, orbital patrols, bureaucracy weaponized, war over, ink dried before the last jump flare cooled. Rawl's Armada signatures winked out. Marooned echoes faded into the black. Vance leaned back, scans refreshed clean, but a final ping, subspace chatter faint. Coalition HICOM, rally call, her hand opened the next ledger. Payment overdue, deep space stirred. Neighbor fleets closed vectors, covenant enforcers inbound. Rawl's future, beggar or pariah, Earth's, forged stronger. Osa wiped sweat from her brow, station air recyclers groaning. Colonel, salvage inbound, what next? Fortify, Vance said. They signed away return. We build the wall they can't climb. Sato patched through a neutral hail, Kragari envoy. Human Vance, covenant verified, conquered aggressors isolated, trade resumes on your supply terms. Accepted. Vance smiled faint. Humans humble in victory, planners eternal. But the ping returned. Ghost comms encrypted, Rawl's voice fragment. Impossible primitives, adapt doctrine. Vance froze, not over, ledger balanced for now. Rawl's bridge dimmed, emergency lights pulsing, crew slumped, medpods full. Jump complete but coasting blind, fuel 2%, nearest port hostile. Covenants bind us, his exec rasped. HICOM disowns. Rawl stared at stars, human tricks, logistics ghosts, legal snares, quick compliance doctrine shattered, primitives won, by making surrender their blade. Vance watched the last debris net close, Earth's orbit secured. Factories roared, defense net live, hook set. Invaders came for surrender, left chained by it. One anomaly pinged, subspace rift uninvited, coalition probe or worse. Vance keyed alert, game continued.